The world today exists in a period of uncertainty. We question science and religion. We question economics and government. We ask the fundamental human questions of how, and for what purpose, we came to be. Life is changing at a pace, and to a degree, that compels us to believe that our transformation is headed in a direction, and to an end, to an inflection point in time. This is Session 1, Emptiness, in a course titled Evolution of Consciousness, and that is central to a larger view, Evolution of Consciousness Theory. It is a paradigm that allows us to understand our world, and the end to which our world is headed, in a way we have not understood it before. It is a confluence of ideas that allows us to find meaning in our lives, and to further the betterment of the human experience. The 20th century paleontologist, and Jesuit, priest, Pierre Teilhard de Chardin, whom nearly a century ago foresaw the internet, brought us many remarkable ideas. One in particular is applicable to our current quest for knowledge, the concept of evolutionary context. It is the notion that to understand ourselves, and our present place in time, we must look at ourselves, and our present place in time, with respect to the evolution that led up to it. Though, for certain purposes, it may be useful to see an event as isolated in time, an event viewed out of evolutionary context, like a scene in a movie played out of sequence, appears less than whole. To understand the present, and the future to which it will lead, we must turn our gaze back in time. We must look beyond the human realm, or what in evolution of consciousness theory, we call the universe's period of understanding. We must look beyond the organic realm, or what we call the universe's period of life. We must look beyond the cosmic realm, or what we call the universe's period of structure. We must look beyond the universe's initial becoming, or what we call the universe's period of emergence. We must return to the beginning, to the universe's state of origin, to the point from which all we know, observe, and experience, came to be. Perhaps the least disputed fact about the universe is that complex things are composed of simple things. Protons, neutrons, and electrons bind to make atoms, which fuse to make molecules, which clump to make stars and planets. Stars and planets arrange to form solar systems, which organize to form galaxies, which aggregate to form galactic clusters. People bond to form families. Families group to make communities. Communities unite to create cities, and cities align to create nations. Thus, in an evolving universe, as most scientists and philosophers consider ours to be, where everything that now exists, developed from something related, but more primitive, that once existed. To look into the past, is to reduce the universe to a simpler state. The nestled and interwoven patterns of social organization, found in human societies, meld into the uniform and collective patterns of social bonding, seen in non-human societies. The first single-celled entities emerged before the first multi-celled entities, which emerged before the first trees, fish, amphibians, reptiles, and mammals. The first molecules came before the first stellar bodies. The first atoms came before the first molecules, and the first subatomic particles came before the first atoms. The further back in time we look, the simpler the universe we see. Projection of this trend, therefore, allows us to deduce the existence of an initial, simplest state. The least complex state we can imagine, the universe's seed, the point with which it all began. The state of existence we call emptiness. To lay the foundation needed to explore the state of emptiness, we begin by establishing an idea that scientists and philosophers, from St. Augustine to Albert Einstein, have grappled with, and that Pierre Teilhard de Chardin, developed, to perhaps its most functional degree. This concept is the notion of the universe's dual nature. What Teilhard, and others realized, as they contemplated the workings of the world, is that it is useful to think of the universe as existing on two levels, the external and the internal. The external, or the without as Teilhard referred to it, is the physical or objective side of existence. It is social structure, and patterns of social interaction. It is anatomy, organic structure, and biological function. It is the organization of the cosmos, the composition of the molecule, and the configuration of the atom. The external is time and space, matter in all its forms, and energy revealed through its effect on matter. The external is that which we can map, plot, count, and statistically analyze. The internal, or the within, as Teilhard referred to it, is the non-physical, or subjective side of existence. It is love, intuition, and creativity. It is the awareness of self and surroundings that pervades life, and that underlies social structure. It is the feelings that many have, of the existence of a God, or of some form of supreme being, and of a soul, and afterlife. The internal, is that which we may experience, and therefore know, or believe to exist, but cannot account for quantitatively, or by other tangible means. When we consider the universe's origin, as a state of emptiness, from the standpoint of the external, or the without, it appears to us as we expect it to appear, null, vacuous, the cosmic void. When we consider the universe's origin, as a state of emptiness, from the standpoint of the internal, or the within, it appears to us as anything but empty. To understand emptiness in a way that allows us to grasp the nature of the universe's state of origin, we must shift our view to the internal, and derive a definition of emptiness. The highest expression of the internal at hand is our own awareness. What, then, does emptiness feel like? When we experience emptiness, we experience a sense of lack or absence. Emptiness is a hollow feeling in the chest or stomach. We may describe it as boredom or loneliness. It is a sense of void, an awareness that something in our life is missing. Sound familiar? Every person ever to walk the planet has felt this way at some point in his or her existence. To carry our analysis a step further, when we feel the lack, or absence, of something, we feel the want of, or the need for, that which we lack. To experience boredom is to experience the need for activity. To experience curiosity is to experience the need for understanding. To experience loneliness is to experience the need for love. The lack of, and the need for, something go hand in hand. They describe the same feeling. Thus, we can say that emptiness is the need for fulfillment. This definition is straightforward, and not too hard to accept. We could say that it is self-evident. To put our definition of emptiness to work, however, we must carry our analysis one further step. Our experience of emptiness has an essential nature, consciousness, which demonstrates two facets, motivation and uncertainty. We experience emptiness as an inner awareness, as an internal state of being. Emptiness is the state of needing fulfillment. Emptiness is the awareness, or consciousness, of emptiness. To be conscious of emptiness, is to feel a tug on one's being. The energy to grow, to build, to move on. With emptiness, there comes the motivation, to create, fulfillment. With emptiness, there also comes the uncertainty, as to how to create fulfillment. Uncertainty produces the trial and error of life, for, without the element of the unknown, we could satisfy our every need, the instant we felt it. Formally defined. Emptiness is the consciousness of the need to create fulfillment, and thus of the motivation to create fulfillment, and of the uncertainty, or potential uncertainty, as to how to create fulfillment. Deduction led us to the possibility that the universe began in the simplest state imaginable, the only state that nothing came before, the state of emptiness. Based on our definition of emptiness, what now can we infer about the universe's state of origin? If, as the logic of our argument suggests, the universe began as emptiness, and, if our definition of emptiness holds true, we are drawn to the conclusion that the universe began as a state of consciousness. But this consciousness would be far more primitive than our own awareness, or of any in our modern experience. Based on traditional notions of the divine, it also would be far more primitive than any we associate with a god, or supreme being. It would be the least complex state of awareness there ever was, the simplest state imaginable. Our analysis suggests that, at its origin, the universe existed as an elemental sense of void, as a rudimentary feeling of want, as a fundamental discernment of motivation, and of impending uncertainty. The universe existed in a state of potential. The universe began as emptiness. At its beginning, the universe felt the need to create fulfillment. Is not the within a fundamental quality of existence? From the standpoint of the within, could we define emptiness in any other way? Could the universe have begun in any state other than emptiness? With our derivation of the universe's state of origin, we complete session 1 in our course titled Evolution of Consciousness. We have established the background to explore the first major stage in the universe's evolution, the age of emergence. What are time and space, and how did time and space emerge from the universe's initial state of emptiness? Our course titled Evolution of Consciousness continues in session 2, Perception.